How's it going, everyone? My name is George, and today we are going to be continuing the Toy Story review series with Toy Story 3. This was directed by Lee Unkrich, and once again stars Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Joan Cusack, and many of the other voice actors from the previous Toy Story films, as well as some newcomers like Ned Beatty and Michael Keaton. And in this film, Andy is going off to college, and originally he just intended on putting most of the toys in the attic and taking Woody to college with him, but when Andy's mom mistakes the toys as being in the trash, being put in the trash, they decide to go to Sunnyside Daycare Center for a better life, but they find out that Sunnyside is more so like a prison for toys, and Woody needs to save the gang and get back home to Andy's before Andy goes off to college. So this film comes out 11 years after Toy Story 2. We've gotten a lot of Pixar movies in between Toy Story 2 and 3. Movies like Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, and so on and so forth. And the last Pixar film that came out before Toy Story 3, which came out in 2009, was a very emotional animated movie. Had one of the most emotional beginnings of any movie, animated or not. And so I always wonder, like, is this kind of setting up, like, hinting that maybe the next Pixar film, which was Toy Story 3, going to be very emotional? Especially because Toy Story 2 was very emotional in its own way. And yes, this is definitely one of, if not the most emotional animated movie, at least in my opinion, that I've seen. This is a film about growing up, a film about family, moving on, and uncertainty for the future. There's a lot going on in here. The toys, they're wondering what's going to happen to them. Are they going to get separated? Are they going to be thrown in the trash? Are they going to go in the attic? Will they ever get played with again? Woody, as leader of the gang, he doesn't know what how to handle all this. When there's basically that divide between Woody and the toys because Woody knows the toys aren't being thrown out, but they thought they were, and the hurt that Woody feels and the hurt that the toys feel. Like there's a lot of emotion going on in this film, and it's not just between Andy and Woody and the toys. There's even with Lotso's backstory, the main antagonist, and you learn more about Lotso and how he was forgotten, him and a few other toys, and Lotso fighting to get back to his kid, only to find out that his kid replaced him, and it broke his heart and caused him to snap. And that doesn't defend what Lotso does in the film. He's the main antagonist, and Ned Beatty does a great job of voicing him. But it kind of shows like how some toys heal with certain things, and like it's also a theme about like what kind of kid, what kind of owner these toys have. Like Andy, he loves his toys, and yeah, at the beginning of the film, he calls them junk, but he does care about them. When he finds out that they were accidentally thrown out, or he thinks they got accidentally thrown out, he's very upset. But when he finds them, he's very happy, and it's very emotional at the end of the film when he's giving his toys away, and even says the words "thanks, guys," because he loves his toys, and they set it up perfectly with how much he cares about this certain group of toys at the beginning of the film, which is similar to the other beginning of the films for Toy Story movies the toys are being played with. The first Toy Story film, Andy's playing with them, but he's doing the voiceover. Toy Story 2, while Andy's not playing with the toys like right at the beginning, it's more so Rex playing the Buzz Lightyear video game. But in Toy Story 3, Andy's playing with them, but instead you're kind of seeing what Andy's imagining the toys saying, what with the toys' voice actors. Like it's based, we're watching Andy's imagination, and I think it's a great way of setting it up as well as focusing on the toys that he's gonna keep up until he goes to college, with toys that he treasures the most. So I love that they do a great job of setting that up. And Randy Newman's score is once again emotional and fantastic. And yeah, I want to also get into the voice acting as well. I already got into Ned Beatty as Lotso. Great job, like I said. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are still fantastic in these roles. Joan Cusack as Jessie is also great. They even got John Morris, the kid who voiced Andy in the first two Toy Story films, to come back and voice Andy in this film, and he does a great job as well. And you have Michael Keaton voicing the Ken Barbie doll, and he does a great job as well. The voice acting from the rest of the cast is fantastic as always. The animation looks fantastic in this film. It also shows they've come a long way since Toy Story and Toy Story 2 animation wise. And was not just a movie about family and friendship like the other Toy Story movies. This is also like a prison break movie when the toys are breaking out of Sunnyside and how they work together, and it just shows what the toys can do when they're united. And whether it's, finding ways to stop the cameras or trying to save Buzz because Buzz has been reset and thinks he's a space ranger again. So they gotta save Buzz as well. And then, like, right when you think they escape Sunnyside and things go right in the world again, and they land up in the trash truck, and they gotta now escape the junkyard. And they have quite a few close calls, but the most emotional one is right when they think they're going to be incinerated and when the toys accept their fate. And that's really sad and very dark at the same time. They're all holding hands and they're accepting their fate. But then the aliens come in and save them with the classic claw. Remember the claw from Toy Story? And yeah, this film has a lot of emotional moments, like right from the beginning to the end. Definitely one of the most emotional films. And it's kind of crazy that back in like the mid 2000s, right before Disney officially bought Pixar, the original plan for Toy Story 3 was going to be another rescue mission kind of film, except instead of Woody, they were going to rescue Buzz. Apparently, Buzz Lightyear dolls are being recalled, and the toys were going to go save Buzz from get Buzz back from Taiwan, because apparently that's where all the Buzz Lightyear toys were being recalled. And this was like, I guess, with the Circle 7 animation studio that Disney created for certain Pixar films, because like their first Pixar movies like Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, the ones that Pixar made with Disney before Disney bought them, sequels or spin-offs to those franchises were going to go to Circle 7. But then plans changed once Disney bought Pixar, and I'm kind of glad that they went this route with Andy going to college and the uncertainty that the toys face, because while I'm not saying the original plan for Toy Story 3 would have been a bad movie, it still could have been a great movie. I don't think it would have had the emotional impact that the Toy Story 3 that they went with had. So I'm glad they went that way. And another thing is, like I said, they do a great job of setting up what toys are gonna be the remaining toys. They also do a great job of setting up what the toy's fate is gonna be. So when Woody's escaping Sunnyside, a little girl named Bonnie finds him and gives him and basically brings him home, plays with him. He gets to meet the toys and he gets along with Bonnie's toys. And Bonnie has a great time. She loves playing with Woody. Pretty interesting compared to what later happens in Toy Story 4, but let's just focus on Toy Story 3 right now. And Woody even admits this is like the most fun he's had in years. And towards the end of the film, the toys are happy to be back at Andy's and they accept staying in the attic. But Woody doesn't feel like that's the right approach for them after everything they've been through. And he realizes that it's time to move on, and it's also time for him to move on. And he also makes his own choice as well, which is he wants to stay with the gang and be played with instead of going to college with Andy. And he realizes he's going to treasure those moments with Andy forever. So, very emotional ending when Andy's giving all the toys away. He's hesitant to give Woody away, but he later does. And Andy has one last playtime with the toys. But yeah, this is definitely one of the most emotional animated movies of all time. I love Toy Story 3. I remember seeing this in theaters, and I remember like the theater was crying at the end. And it still like gets me emotional at the end. But all in all, Toy Story 3 like continues the themes of the first two Toy Story movies and builds upon them, builds upon the friendship, the family aspect. Tremendous voice acting as always, a tremendous score from Randy Newman, a great story and screenplay. I'm glad they went with this story instead of what they originally were planning to do when Circle 7 animation was still around. But yeah, Toy Story 3 definitely one of the greatest animated movies ever be made. I'm gonna give Toy Story 3 an A plus. I highly recommend you go check this film out if you haven't already. You should watch all the Toy Story movies if you haven't already. Show your kids if you have kids because they're gonna love these movies. But yeah, Toy Story 3, a phenomenal movie. What you guys think about Toy Story 3? Is it your favorite of the Toy Story movies? Is it your least favorite? For me, the first Toy Story movie, probably because I've rewatched it so many times is probably always going to be my personal favorite. But what do you guys think? What's your favorite Toy Story movie? Let me know in the comments down below. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe already if you haven't. Please share us with someone that loves the Toy Story movies, including Toy Story 3. And I hope to see you guys real soon. I'm going to be continuing with the Jurassic World reviews this weekend with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World Dominion. And I will do my Toy Story 4 review the following weekend right before Lightyear comes out, or right before I see Lightyear. So I hope to see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone.